Ashley, good morning. How are you doing?
Great. How are you?
Good, good. It's supposed to be a beautiful day in the DMV. A lot of crazy events that transpired, obviously. And so we're hoping for continued calm over the next week. So thinking about everyone as the inauguration comes next Wednesday, we won't be recording before then. So thinking about everybody and hoping for a peaceful transition and democracy rules. Let's get into it. We had another crowd favorite IPO yesterday, Affirm, which is a company that I use a lot. Our Peloton was bought on Affirm. A lot of these IPOs coming out. We saw DoorDash and of course Airbnb a couple weeks ago, and now Affirm. We have Roblox, one of Henry's favorite games, coming out this week as well. Any thoughts there as you saw kind of that IPO process and just an interesting day yesterday for sure for the Affirm employees and founder?
Yeah, and so we actually posted a Y chart on our Instagram, I think early this week or last week, and it was saying how the age of IPOs of the age of the companies that are going public are so much younger. So it's kind of interesting to see that shift in demographic of these companies. So it'll be interesting to see kind of how all these play out. We've seen a few that have been postponed or terminated. So it'll be interesting to see how some of these companies handle going public.
Yeah, and we're also seeing direct listings, which is a new phenomenon where they're cutting out the middleman. And then the thing that about IPOs that I never understood with these investment bankers that are crushing the numbers so day and night leading up until the day that they go public, and Affirm is a prime example where they were at the top end of what the range was, and then it was still up significantly, meaning that the original shareholders left a lot of money on the table. I'm really interested to see how, this, as you said, the changing demographics of going public, how that really affects things because, the founders and the stockholders and the original VCs are leaving money by selling the shares, of course, at a lower price when, in theory, the market's bearing another 2x in the Affirm case almost. So interesting things to see there. We posted two fantastic blogs this week, kind of top of mind things that we've been hearing about from clients and prospects. One of them surrounding organization for the new year, and then what to do with an old 401k, all tied into each other as we're seeing people get their December 31st statements, realizing that they may have had accounts that they forgot about or jobs that they transitioned out of years ago. So why don't you talk a little bit about our organizational process and kind of what we want to do to achieve financial success in 2021?
Great. Yeah. So we have been thinking a lot about it. We've been reading articles. A lot of companies are posting about how maybe their New Year's resolution is focusing on organization in the workplace. Working from home's now become more of a permanent thing, it seems like, or it feels like. So a lot of companies are trying to really get that down in the new year. So I think one of the big systems that we use here at Sherman Wealth that a lot of other companies use as well is Slack. And so we found that that's a really great way to share articles we're seeing, share ideas, DM instantly, just one-on-one. So it's been a great way for us to stay organized and kind of break out all of our different channels. And so that's something that we're using, and we're going to definitely try to learn more about and make it as efficient as possible in this new year.
Great. Yeah. And just going back to the kind of the 401k blog, because I thought it was very interesting. We saw, as we know, we work with a bunch of teachers and their 403Bs and just the real tedious process of getting the money out, and the custodians really make it difficult for the employees that leave to get their money out. So there's really fine steps that you need to follow. So if you're having trouble communicating with a former custodian or trustee, reach out to a financial professional. We're happy to help, but if you have a financial professional, it could be a big headache. They make it difficult on purpose to, of course, keep your money in a sense held hostage there. So make sure that you're following the procedures to keep that money tax deferred. Don't want to do anything to trigger that to become a taxable event. And then something that I just thought of that, we're very passionate about, of course, is financial literacy and education for the employees. So, we do have programs where we're working with companies, talking to their employees about financial planning, giving them access to our software and other tools, because as we know from the podcast that we just recorded with David, financial stress and anxiety is really top of mind and causing a lot of problems for folks, especially in a pandemic, especially working from home. So for those employers out there that are finding their employees stressed out about money as we head into the new year, these workplace plans where there's financial planning and literacy for the employees are really gaining in popularity, and something to think about for 2021. So what else are you seeing kind of about organization in the new year? Last week, we recorded kind of about New Year's resolutions. We've long talked about getting organized, using this opportunity. We're now a week later where all the December 31st statements should be coming in, W-2s coming in within the next week or so. So it's a really great opportunity to assess where you are, utilize a potential running balance sheet, and analyzing your assets minus your liabilities. What are you thinking about as you head into 2021 on the organizational process from a finance side?
Yeah, like you're saying, it's important not to just be organized in your work life, but also your personal life too. So something that I've kind of worked on is getting everything into one place and so that I can see it. And so we have systems where you can put everything from credit cards, banks, statements, loans, mortgages, everything into one place. So it's kind of nice to be able to see your net worth and kind of where you're at, your assets and your liabilities all in one place. So I think it literally helps you see the bigger picture and helps you budget, helps you stay on track and in the right place. So that's definitely something that personally I've been utilizing to stay organized, and I recommend it to everybody else out there too.
Great. And for those of you that are interested in that, we are offering a free link to our software so you could take it for a spin and get organized. We really want everyone out there who's listening to do that. So hit us up at info@Sherman Wealth if you'd like access to the software. Want to wrap up with interest rates. We saw interest rates spike, this 1% level on the 10-year that we've been watching, now up to about 1.1%. We have Biden scheduled, as we're recording this, to unveil his stimulus package overnight. There were some rumblings about what might be in it, but we're very interested to see how that goes, what inflation and things will look like after that package is announced. So we've seen data that mortgage rates are on the rise. It'd be hard pressed to believe that anyone out there hasn't at least explored the possibility of refinancing both home loan debt and then potential student loan debt. But if you've still been on the fence with that, we urge you to take action. If you don't have someone that you trust, let us know. We're happy to connect you with a few folks as a recommendation there, but please don't delay those things, as we will see interest rates. We feel the bottom has kind of been in, and so we don't want you to miss out on the potential for refinancing. Remember that the Federal Reserve saying that rates will be held low for years does not mean that the market doesn't believe that rates should be higher. So the two are not connected. So make sure that you're taking action if that's something that was on your to-do list from last year and it's on your 2021 goal list. Make sure you do that sooner than later.
Great. Yeah. Well, I think that wraps up our episode for this week. So thanks for tuning in, and we'll check in with you next week.